Hello and welcome to Indiana Arts Desk. I'm Marcus Jackman. Coming up tonight, the deadline's approaching for a new piano instruction program in Muncie, plus the arts calendar. But first,
I think it can be appreciated on many, many levels. I mean, just anybody having the gumption and the imagination to get this story on stage, and then people being brave enough. I'd like to pat us on the back for a few minutes and say, I think we're pretty darn brave to tackle this.
That's Ron Spencer of Theater on the Square in Indianapolis. He is the director of a new production of Moby Dick, the musical. Spencer says the premise for the show is a play within a play designed to save a Catholic girls' school.
When you take the premise that you have a Catholic girls' school that is going bankrupt, basically, and you have a wacky headmistress who fancies herself the Sarah Bernhardt of the American stage, and you mix in about 14 very talented, dysfunctional, hyperactive teenagers with some seasoned, mature performers from Indianapolis here, and that's the mix that makes up Moby Dick.
The girls of St. Godley's, faced with bankruptcy, decide to put on a show to raise money. Not knowing any better, they figure a musical would work well and choose to adapt Moby Dick, known to all of us as the musical theater novel of the 19th century. The original London production of Moby Dick the Musical, Spencer says, took things in a slightly different direction, with a cast of women, quote, who looked like Playboy bunnies, end quote. For Theater on the Square, Spencer decided to go with a more accurate range of ages for the school girls, teachers, and administrators, from 13 to 30-something. He says bringing in that kind of cast really adds something innocent and naive to the double and triple entendres. Plus, in addition to their talents on stage, Spencer says, there's something disarming and charming about the cast.
You know, they have one scene where they're all in their bathing suits because they're crossing the equator, so they all come running out, you know, onto the main deck screaming, party, you know, and the little streamers go up that look like a carnival cruise because that would be their idea of what a party on a ship would be. And then later on, they're, of course, in the crew quarters, they're all in their pajamas talking about mutiny.
And having the opportunity to cast the character of Stubb as a valley girl, we're like farmers of the ocean, lad, Spencer says, is too much fun to pass up. And there's more.
There's a lot of fun moments, though, when you have Elijah, who's the crazy old sailor, who sings a song called At Sea One Day, which is the prophecy in the novel where he says, at sea one day you'll smell land where there could be no land, and on that day you'll all be damned and all save one of you will die. And they've turned this into a song, but we do it as kind of a Michael Flatley river dance number.
In addition to the cast, Spencer says he's especially pleased with the fully fleshed-out orchestrations of the musical numbers, the costume design, which makes use of what a small parochial school would likely have on hand, supplemented by the students' old Navy shirts, or, in the case of a Quaker sailor, a Quaker State T-shirt. Also, he says the set design shows a lot of ingenuity.
Ahab's desk in his cabin, of course, is a teacher's desk. You know, the bed looks like something that came out of the nurses' quarters, you know. The rope ladder that they climb to be mastheaders and on the lookout is actually a tennis net that is stage pinned to the floor and then hoisted up in the middle. The ship's wheel is a sawed-off bicycle mounted in a hunk of wood.
However, Spencer says one need not rush out to read Herman Melville's classic novel in order to get all the jokes in the show. He says it pretty well explains itself. Moby Dick the Musical is attracting some attention, Spencer says. Some people in New York are interested in seeing how well the show does on this side of the Atlantic with its USA adaptations of some of the jokes. With all the gifted people working together, Spencer says he has high hopes.
I don't see how we can not succeed. There are so many performances of shows in Indiana that are repeated year after year after year after year after year. But there are so many wonderful new things out there to experience. It may not be your favorite musical ever, but you're going to enjoy it. You know, it's something different that you've never seen before. So take a chance and be adventurous.
Moby Dick the Musical opens tomorrow at Theater on the Square in Indianapolis. It runs through September 13th. For more information, call 317-637-8085. That's 317-637-8085. Or visit them online at tots.org.